Hello and welcome to the Leadership Lens, where we speak with industry leaders on what's trending in the ecosystem. Today, we have with us Tejinder Gill, who is the General Manager of the Trade Desk in India. Welcome, Tejinder. It's great to have you at the Leadership Lens.
Hi, Shiny. Good to be here again. Thank you.
So Tejinder is responsible for leading the business growth strategy, executing the company's vision and long-term goals, and leading the product development strategy in India for more than a year now. The Trade Desk, as we all know, is a media buying platform built for the open internet. They allow media buyers to cherry pick inventory from websites, apps, and even newer channels like podcasts, streaming TV programs, using data programmatically to compare performance openly and objectively. Tej, as we all call him today, is spearheading this expansion of the programmatic landscape across digital, audio, video, and connected TV for the Trade Desk. With over 17 years of experience, Tej has been part of leadership teams at LinkedIn and Truecaller before this. Welcome once again, Tej. It's so great to have you here. And I can't wait to start talking about the programmatic landscape that we have today. It's very exciting as I see it.
Same here, Shiny. Thanks for having me here. Excited to chat about what future holds for digital marketing in India.
So Tej, let me start with what's top of mind for all of us. Programmatic is growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, the amount of budgets, media budgets, digital media budgets, especially going into this format, is unbelievable. And, also skewed by the pandemic, this has really grown. What is your take on how this growth is going to go further? Is this going to be a steady pace? Is it going to be plateauing out? Is there something new coming on board? What do you think?
Sure, Shiny. I think let's take a step back, right? Roughly around 14 years ago, when I started my digital journey, digital was actually getting sold the same way newspaper and TV inventory was bought and sold. So an advertiser had to raise a purchase order, give it to a publisher, countersign an insertion order, and then the ads were used to get served. So there was a massive need to plan, forecast, and place media effectively, and that gave birth to programmatic. As you know, programmatic is like growing leaps and bounds today. And interestingly, right, India is probably seventh largest market globally, and it will continue to grow in next 2 to 3 years, which is largely driven by programmatic and emerging channels like open internet. If I have to give you more numbers, like over 35% of Indian advertisers are actually allocating at least 40% of their ad spends to programmatic. And this number is about to reach like 70% in next 2 years. Like that's how we are seeing the world changing. And interestingly, a lot of advertisers are also planning to move programmatic in-house. What marketers are also realizing that there are so many pros of going on programmatic. Like first is being, omni-channel. Second is greater privacy, control over their reach and frequency, audience targeting, better optimization. So there's so many benefits that programmatic offers, and that is how it is growing in a much, much faster pace compared to other channels.
Awesome, thank you. There's something that we all know, we've all seen, is that programmatic is growing definitely. E-commerce has grown by leaps and bounds again. We all started buying even basic stuff like grocery online. But now that the pandemic is kind of hopefully plateauing off or, going down, we're seeing people return to the, bricks model, going back to retail. And it's become a hybrid space. And, like we said at iMedia also, that we need to be omni-channel. Brands need to be omnipresent. And the biggest challenge marketers talked about here is that, it's all good to be omnipresent, but how do I figure out the ROI of this? I'm spending money everywhere. I don't know what I'm getting out of it. Any insights from the Trade Desk on this?
Yeah, like I think we all know digital is growing, and this is a very common challenge that we are hearing from marketers every day. And I firmly believe the success of digital actually requires agility and flexibility. Like you cannot deploy all eggs in one basket and are not able to compare. And interestingly, when we are meeting more investors and CFOs, they are asking for ROI details. They are asking like not like how have you got this ROI, but from where are you getting this ROI? And if you look at traditional formats like television, right, they're super hard to measure. And I think now the time have come where advertisers need that control in their own hands so that they should be able to change the flight of a campaign basis the real time performance which is coming in. And they need to connect every single campaign to the business growth, which is the bottom line. And sometimes, right, I hear a lot from marketers where they say performance campaigns are more important, right? But if you take a step back, actually, brand campaigns are important for long-term success. And what we have realized in Asian countries, that brands are actually allocating large portions of their digital spends on conversion campaigns. Um, and if you look at some of the big brands that have got built in last like 3 decades, you will clearly feel that they all have been built on the foundations of brand building, right? And when it comes to brand building, there is a stronger tendency to gravitate towards lower funnel channels, which can be attributed to a overemphasis on measurement models, last click attribution. But last click attribution, if I have to say, that is a very narrow view of looking into a campaign because it does not account into the different touch points a consumer have come across. And we finally attribute everything to the last click. So to overcome this bias, I think marketers have now started embracing a holistic measurement system, which is some of them are like around multi-touch attribution campaigns, incrementality, and there are more measurement tactics like brand lift are coming in through, which are helping the new age marketers to measure ROI.
Sure. Thanks, Tej. I think that is an interesting conversation, and that's a conversation that I think we will keep having. There are so many, technologies coming into this space, and something that Trade Desk has also launched to help with this is the unified ID. I know we've all been talking about the cookieless world coming, soon, but anyways, we were still waiting for that. But the Trade Desk has a solution to this, which is called the Unified ID 2.0. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, Shiny. I think before I talk about identity or unified ID 2.0, let's take a few steps back, right? Any effective marketing actually starts by either knowing your customers or building relationships through lifetime or cross-platform decisioning or investing blindly, right? And what we have realized is there's a value exchange happening, which means targeted advertising funds great content. Like that's a very, very important aspect to understand. And the core problem in digital ecosystem lies is that there's no single unified identifier which sits across the web once third-party cookies phase out. And to simplify Unified ID 2.0, it is a string of numbers and letters that cannot be reverse engineered to an email address or any form of advertising, right? And interestingly, what Unified ID 2.0 means for marketers in India is it'll help you measure and compare effectively across channels, which means you can compare audio with the CTV. Secondly, it prepares you for a future cookieless world, which is more to do with the new age currency because cookies are like, old age technology. Third way how it benefits the marketers is that a marketer can effectively target their audience in a privacy safe environment where consumers are on the forefront. So these are the broader like three benefits for marketers in India.
Thanks. Now we have 3 rapid fire questions for you, Tej. I think we've learned about how programmatic is growing. We've heard about how ROI can be measured, and we've looked at an alternative for the cookie as well. But three, important things we want to talk about is one industry trend. And this is rapid fire. One industry trend that's here to stay.
I would say life beyond walled gardens, which is open internet, like that is something which is here to stay. Second would be probably CTV. CTV is the fastest growing channel in India. And as video continues to grow, it will continue to win consumers' hearts and minds. And TTD is taking a lead in that through our partnerships across different partners.
Sure. So so one is the open internet and the other is streaming television. One technology that you will tell marketers to try really hard and not miss at all.
I don't know if how many marketers have seen the Trade Desk Solimar platform. It basically enables you to do full scope of cross-channel data-driven marketing powered by AI and UX capabilities. It basically, you can actually realize the power of your first-party data in a very secure, trusted manner. Plus, you can use Solimar for leading measurement marketplace, which provides a closed loop for all the campaigns that you are running. So Solimar, which is the Trade Desk platform, is one of the important technologies that you cannot afford to miss in 2022.
So sure. So if you're really worried about how to really make sense of your first party data, Trade Desk has an answer to that, Solimar. And one underrated industry issue that you think is no one's really talking about it too much, what's very important?
Yeah, sure. So I think thanks to pandemic in last 2 years, we have gone through some irreversible consumer behavior trends, right? And now less than 30% of consumers' digital time is spent on social and search. But walled gardens actually claim 80% of the digital advertising revenues. So there is a massive amount of awareness needs to be created because consumers are spending 70% of their time on open internet, and that's the future. And majority of the marketers are still going to default channels like social and search. So that's like a more underrated issue, and I think it is changing.
I think so. It's time for marketers to move away from your traditional, and now these are traditional, social and search are traditional mediums now. There's a whole lot of new bunch of stuff that's come in. CTV you mentioned, open internet, so many new things that are coming. So time to spend time on that. Thank you so much, Tejinder. This was a wonderful conversation, and we'll see you at our next event very soon.
Absolutely, Shiny. Keep up the great work you guys have been doing in educating the industry. Thanks for being the pioneers.
Thank you.